All right, traders and investors, this is Avril from the Tradepsyche. Today is Saturday, 21st Feb 6 p.m. and I welcome you back again at another weekly analysis video wherein we'll analyze some of the crucial levels, resistances and support for the next week for Nifty 50, Bank Nifty and all the other indexes, right? We'll also analyze in this video basically that how the markets can be for the next week, whether they can be bullish, whether they can be bearish, right? What are some of the news factors from domestic perspective or from maybe global international perspective which can really affect the markets, right? So stay tuned till the end of this video. I hope you'll not go empty handed, right? In this video at the last we'll also discuss the change in OI data, the total open interest and how the markets fare when we combine the technicalities, the technicals, and when we combine the OI data, right? We'll also see some of the crucial price action points, so do not forget to miss this video out and watch it completely in order to get a complete analysis of the markets, how each sector can fare right in the next week. All right, and we'll also discuss that what we have been discussing from past in the past weekly analysis video. This will be in conjunction with the last weekly analysis video. I'll be attaching the link to that last weekly analysis video on the top right section of this video. Do check it out, right? So let's start with the discussion, and as usual, right, we'll discuss whether there is something positive from domestic news or maybe from international perspective, from global finance perspective, right? So there is one very big positive development, right, which has happened from the global international perspective, financial markets, global financial markets, which is there was a ruling on Friday night, I think 8:30 p.m. from Indian Standard Time, that the US, the Trump tariffs, which the US President Donald Trump had put on the other countries, it is strike down. It has been declared illegal by the Supreme Court of the US. So what does it mean? How does it affect India? I'll talk about it in a brief. Then we'll go over to the charts and we'll analyze that what are the charts saying. Then we'll go over to the OI data. Then we'll go over to the multi-sectoral analysis. So in order to get a 360-degree view, a bird's eye view of the markets, that how are the markets faring, and by the end of this video you'll be able to fairly evaluate and analyze and get an understanding of the markets for the next week. All right. So as I mentioned that these Trump tariffs have been declared illegal. What does it mean is, now whatever the percentage of tariffs which Trump had put on several countries, whether it's China, whether it's the India. With India, we were at 50% tariff when the trade deal came out. We gapped up at 26,300, and then we never breached that point, right? But yesterday, the news came that the U.S. court has declared these tariffs as illegal. Now it has two sides. The first side, which says is, once if these tariffs are declared illegal, then what will happen to the money which the US government has made using these tariffs? A rough estimate is about 172 billion dollars to maybe 200 billion dollars the US government, which it earned with the help of these tariffs, it has to return. So how these returns will be processed, this is still under discussion. But if you overly analyze, if you on a brief mode, if you analyze this, that yes, all the tariffs which Trump had put on different several countries, it has now come down to 10% base, right? And the I think the Supreme Court of the US also mentioned that it was an abuse of power. So it is a setback for Donald Trump as the president of the US, and maybe we can expect a road smoother ahead, right? Now we already declared, the US and India jointly issued a statement that the tariff on India, because uh, India was able to achieve a mini trade deal with the US, and the effective uh, tariff percentage on India came down from 50 percentage to 18 percentage, right? So now if this thing gets passed, if these tariffs are declared illegal, so even that 18% will get reduced to 10 percentage, which was, I think, earlier also. From as per my perspective, I think that was from the earlier perspective also. And the effect of this news was clearly seen especially on Indian markets, because Indian markets were specifically struggling from 18% tariff, from 50% tariff, right? But seeing this news, of course, yes, Gift Nifty has cheered. We cheered on the day when the trade deal was announced. I think, roughly opened 1100 points gap down, gap up, and then we dropped 600 points within the first 500 minutes. So the real question now is whether this gap up will be sustained or not, right? So we will look at the charts, that if it sustains, what will be the further trajectory of the index. We will discuss probability wise probability, right? So this is a very positive news, and despite this news coming from the US, it was not taken so much positive by the US markets, although they closed green, but they did not close 1.5% up, if you take example of India, right? So this was the news basically, and of course you can see Gift Nifty 320 points up. So we will take that into factoring, right? And we will analyze that from where, after the gap up opening, if the opening is a massive gap up, what do we have to do post the gap up opening, right? So let's start with the technical analysis. Let's straight go to the Nifty 50 chart and we'll start analyzing. All right. So I hope you are able to see the Nifty 50 chart. We'll go to the weekly time frame, right? And now if you see, uh, the last week, the last to last week, we saw a massive volatility. This was the first week of February, right? The first week of February, we saw a massive move up till 26,350, which is pretty much the all time high, very much near to the all time high, right? Post that, we dropped to 20. Prior to that, we dropped to 24,560. So if I drill down to the daily time frame, what you can see is the budget day. We drill down to, I think we melt down to, the index melted down to 24,500. And the 24,500, then again, after a big red candlestick, we saw a good supportive move. Then after this good supportive move, we gapped up, right? So from, I think, past 3 weeks, we have been seeing massive volatility. The week post that, I think this was the week post that, I think we moved up till, I think, roughly around 26,000. But the last three sessions, I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we moved back again down to 25,400. Then coming the next week, the first four sessions, one, two, three, the first three session, we covered in the, like, from 25,390, we covered till 25,800, 500 points in the first three sessions of the market. Thursday, we dropped all the complete 500 points. So from my perspective, the whole, I think, month of February is a very volatile month. If at all you go to monthly time frame, you'll see, oh, it's a monthly pause candlestick, right? But from weekly perspective also, you might see that, okay, it's a decent candle. But from daily perspective, we have gone from 24, roughly 24,500 to 26,300, then back to 25,300, then 26,000, then suddenly back to 25,360, then 25,800, then in one single session back to 390, and then again back to 25,600. So every day there was a minimum move of 200 to 300 points every session. If at all you take consideration of this session, we moved from 570 to 700. So almost 130 points move. It was the case. And even on early time frame, if you go, it was massively volatile. Because if you see, we stood the ground here, we went up, we went till 26,000, then we suddenly dropped. Then after we dropped, then we suddenly rose. We gave a breakout above 25,750 till 25,800. At this point of time, everybody thought that Nifty will turn damn bullish, but then again we dropped because it was Sensex expiry. And we will definitely learn about this movement also, that why this happened. And now again we will be gapping up around 25,800, right? So the last week, each from I'm not afraid to admit that last three of my analysis of data, of technical analysis, it went wrong. Because the general idea is, whatever the positioning of the clients are, the markets always does opposite of that, right? And I think on for Friday the clients were damn bearish. The markets went in green. For Thursday, the clients were aggressively bullish. Thursday we dropped aggressively bearish. Thursday we dropped 500 points. So from past 3 to 4 sessions, the clients are winning, and it is a very rare situation when clients win in the markets. By when I say clients, what do I mean by clients is, if you go to this FIDI data, these are the clients. The clients are like me, you, who are the normal retail traders, right? So even if you see today, for Monday, the clients are heavily bearish. It means that FIs must be bullish. Yes, FIs are bullish, right? So whenever we sit and we analyze by using this data, right, we analyze that yes, the markets will do whatever the FIs positioning are, but FIs, if even if FIs were bullish, the markets dropped. Even if FIs were bearish, the markets rose. So that's what's going on. And if you have lost money, or if you have not been able to make money in last 2 weeks, it's perfectly normal, because the markets are not in their sane mind, right? And even if you go to the India VIX has been constantly rising in the last week. The last week saw a good rise in the India VIX because of the two things. One was the US Iran war tension, because it gave a very good spike uh, in the oil, right, which the markets had fear. And the other tension was the trade deal. What if Trump's gonna push back on the trade deal, right? So we'll also discuss about the India VIX, right? What its trajectory can be. So this was the discussion. This was the happenings in the past 3 weeks of Nifty. Lights, right, traders. So let's get into the last week. Let's get into the analysis of the last week for the markets. And I'll drill down to the monthly time frame, right? So from monthly time frame, this whole month we have seen a massive volatility and a bigger range than prior month, which is roughly from 24,500 to 26,350. So almost 17,1,800 points move we have already seen in February, right? So from monthly perspective, I think we will still not close below prior monthly low, right? And it is for this till I think February, and it will be very crucial for the markets to close above the prior monthly low, which is because if you see the January candlestick was a close below prior monthly low, changing a stance on a very higher time frame. For me, if any closing comes below prior monthly low, I think we can see a bigger meltdown in the coming next few months. So it is very crucial for the markets now to first cross 26,000, the zone of 26,000, which is this zone, and cross the 50% retracement of this month. If at all we are able to cross roughly around 26,000, 26,100, then I think next few months we can do this. Next 3 months will be damn bullish for India, for Indian markets. But if at all we close roughly below 25,000, then it will be consecutively second candlestick closing below prior monthly low, and then we will get a confirmation that a bigger downtrend has come into play, right? Why I'm giving you monthly analysis, so that you get because it is very much important for us to analyze on bigger time frames that what is the story being played out, right? From weekly perspective, now if you analyze this candlestick, we have seen massive volatility in this week as well, right? If you go, this was the last session, right? And this was the first session. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, massive drop. Friday, massive rise, right? So anybody who can see this candlestick, that was a bullish engulfing candlestick on Monday, right? Friday we closed heavily down. Monday we went till 25,370, but we pushed back because it was roughly I think a good support in the markets, right? So I'll mark this level also, right? Which it is a very crucial level now, 25,380. That's it, right? I'll go back to the weekly time frame now, right? So from weekly perspective, if you analyze, yes, selling has come, and markets, the current week's high is lower than the prior week high, right? So the current week high is roughly, I think, let's suppose 25,880, right? So if you are a swing trader or positional trader, this will be the no trading range for you. We'll definitely drill down the daily and hourly time frame and even 15 minutes time frame and see that how the trade setup can be for Monday. But if you are someone who is looking into swing and positional uh, trades for Nifty, for the index, do not trade into index unless this range is taken out. Any move, any daily closing above 25,800. So I'll factor out. See, I'll take you to GIF Nifty now, right? So GIF Nifty, if you see, because GIF Nifty will factor uh, the rise in the index, right? So whatever the fall we saw on, I think, Thursday's session, it is completely retraced. And now GIF Nifty from daily perspective, if you see, it has given a massive bullish close. It's a bullish engulfing candlestick, and I think now, unless in GIF Nifty we break down below 25,600, GIF Nifty will continue to stay bullish. GIF Nifty is very much near to 26,000. I think Monday when we will open, GIF Nifty might also go 50-60 points up in the morning session before the Indian markets open. But if at all you factor GIF Nifty now, we will be roughly opening roughly around here, right? Getting my point? So we'll be creating another gap from 25,570 to 25,800. If at all you take roughly 300 points gap up, which is currently what's GIF Nifty showing, 320 points, right? So we'll be roughly opening around the prior weekly high, right? So I'll not. So this is something which should be taken into consideration, right? And we'll definitely deal on the, I think, 1 hour early time frame and 15 minutes time frame, that what should be done in case of this opening, correct? Now, as I mentioned, from monthly perspective, it is very crucial for the markets to close above 26,000, or maybe it should not close below prior monthly low. The prior monthly low is 24,900, right? If at all we are able to close on monthly perspective roughly a green candlestick like this, let's suppose this roughly around 26,000, 26,100, then I think past 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth, past 5 months resistance will be 26,300. If at all, and I can give you this with, I think, a probability percentage of 99%. If at all we close a candlestick like this in February, which is looking like possible, because now there is no question of trade deal with US, since the tariff percentage is 10%. The question of trade deal just goes away, right? Which can be very bullish for Nifty 50. So if we do that, I think the month of March can be a huge breakout in Nifty, right? And people will say that you are a mad guy, that you are anticipating a rise of almost 2,000 to 3,000 points, but it's such a massive resistance from past uh, uh, you know 5 months, that if at all a breakout comes, it will be exponentially, like it will be very good buying across all the sectors, right? So I'll go back to the weekly time frame, and we'll start analyzing, right? So I have mentioned you the no trading range. Now, anticipating that we will roughly around open around here, if at all we start moving above any daily close, like if at all Monday we close above this, expect the first level 26,000, and the journey from 25,880 to 26,000 will be very easy one. The bigger deal will be a move from 26,000. Sorry, I'll drill down, drill to a zoom out. The bigger deal will be a move from 26,000 to 26,300. This is a very fair trading opportunity. So how to trade this move, we'll see on daily time frame. But if at all after the gap up opening, if the markets does not sustain and we start to break down below 25,800, then I think again we might go into this gap covering mode, and then we might take a support at prior weekly close, right? Any move or any close on daily basis below 25,380, the index will be in danger, and we will be opening for the level 25,000. Any move below 25,000, daily closing below 25,000, we will be in trouble for 24,560. And if at all 24,560 breaks down, I think that index can give you a crash opportunity till 22,000. All right. So I'm not discussing. I personally myself do not want the index to do that. But if that happens, then I think you need to be ready and you need to have that scenario from probability perspective in your mind, right? Let's go to daily time frame, right? So now this big red candlestick will be completely reversed on the upside. We will create a gap. So I'll mark this gap. We'll mark this the level 25,665 and 25,560. So 25,560 is the close of prior weekly, and the level 25,660 is the prior weekly high. So roughly, if at all we anticipate, we'll open roughly around somewhere. So we will create a roughly gap of almost 250 points, 200 250 points, right? So how to deal with this 200 points gap? All right. So let's seeing GIF Nifty, if at all we anticipate that the markets will open roughly around 25,880. So technically the markets, because now there is no negative news, technically the markets should get stabilized here, because we'll also go to the OI data and discuss that what is the positioning of the smart orders, right? But let me once drill down to the early time frame. If at all we open roughly near 25,880, so the markets should be stabilized post the open in the first half, and the markets should not at all break below 25,800. So this will be the level for post the gap up opening, which the market should not break. So what will happen is, let's anticipate that roughly the markets are opening above 25,800 900, right? If the markets are not able to take the gap up and it starts breaking 25,800, we'll definitely drill down to 25,650 will be the first level. And if at all we do not hold 650, the 560 will be the next support for the market, right? So let's drill down to this one, daily time frame. And from daily perspective, so keeping everything apart, from weekly perspective, I see slight negativity in the markets, but this chart has not factored the gap up. So the real analysis will come on the Monday. The Monday's close will be very, very crucial. If at all we are able to close roughly around somewhere around here, I think next week we will roughly see a candlestick like this. I am damn sure if at all no more negative news comes from the US or Iran, maybe I think we should be able to see a very good bullish move next week. Why? Because if at all you separate out that tariff ruling, the Supreme Court tariff ruling aside, at this point of time, I don't see a positive close from weekly perspective. Why? Because we went up, but a massive sell has come on the upside, and we have formed a reversal hanging man on the markets. Although it's a green candlestick, but still it's slightly bearish for me. If at all this closing would have been below prior weekly low, whatever the news agenda would have been, I would have still considered that as a negative close. And unless we cross and close a daily candlestick of prior weekly, I would have not gone bullish. So same will be the case here. So I'll bring back my levels and I'll go back to the daily time frame. When will I go bullish? If on Monday, post the gap up, if at all we are able to sustain around roughly in this zone 25,800 to 25,900, if at all we are healthily closing our daily candlestick like roughly around here, because post the gap up, the wick with the wick will be starting from here. So I'll discuss the probabilities on early time frame, what might be possible, how we can form, but keeping this in the mind that we will open gap up. If at all we are closing a candlestick above 25,800, I think that should be a healthy sign for the market for the bullish trajectory. Since if I do not take into consideration that the trade deal, the Supreme Court decision has not come, this on daily perspective, this is a bearish close for me, because we have not closed above the prior 50%, and I would have expected a continuation on the downside, right? Now let's go to early time frame and discuss on the basis of probability. See, if the markets open a massive gap up of 300 350 points, we'll be roughly opening around somewhere around here. How to trade that move now? Seeing the OI data, if at all I take you to the OI data, let me go to the open interest data, total open interest data, right? 25,600, 700, 800 till 25,800, there are massive shorts there. So if at all the markets roughly open a huge gap up, we'll definitely see a pullback, pushback till 25,800. Since 25,800 is a psychological level, is a good support for the markets should technically take a support at this point of time. So if at all the markets open a huge gap up, don't straight away enter longs here. Wait for the first early close of the market. Since it will be a opening, since it will be an opening after the weekend, and the markets will factor any bullish news, bearish news, the first 1.5 2 hours of the Monday is generally 90% very volatile, right? So keep this in mind. If at all we are able to sustain on Monday, the closing of Monday is very important. If at all we are able to sustain the level of 25,800, I think that's a good sign. If at all we close about 26,000, like let's suppose we are opening roughly around here, and the Monday's candlestick, daily candlestick is roughly like this on daily time frame. If at all you want me to go on daily time frame, then it's highly bullish. We might also carry longs on Monday. And generally, gaps which are created by news, they get covered, but it will be very crucial to see that whether this gap will be covered or not. All right, traders, because already we have a huge gap on the downside, right? So from my perspective, as of now, I am not looking for any bearish opportunities. Seeing the news what has come into the market, I'll only and only see any bearish opportunity in the market next week below 25,390. Because even on, I think, yesterday's session, the markets opened around 370, but markets, supported, the traders, investors, they saved the level of 390. So 390 level, it has 25,390, it has taken support thrice. If at all we see a third hit after the gap up opening, if at all after the gap up opening we see a massive sell like this, then I think the first signal come will come when we will break 25,800. When we will break 25,800, I'll get a slight sense of opportunity that yes, something is not good in the markets. The markets are still on sell and rise mode. The moment we'll break 25,700, this is the level. The moment we'll break this, I think I'm gonna short the markets. The markets will come here, take a slight support, and I think the markets will break down till 25,000. So the biggest sign for me after the gap up on Monday to go bearish is the break of 25,800. The first sign. The second confirmation sign is the break of 25,700. So if at all you want to trade a slight bearish opportunity, wait for the break of intraday. I'm only talking about. For swing and positional traders, do not try to short the market unless we break down prior weekly low, because once we break down that, you will get a very beautiful move till of 1,000 points. So wait until the markets, because don't try to unnecessarily short the market. If you would have shorted the market here, would have been trapped. If you would have shorted the market here, you would have been trapped. So the markets are trapping a lot these days. So unless a definitive support level on the downside breaks down, do not try to short the market. We will try to go long on the markets on Monday, seeing the first 2 hours of the move. Right? So definitely do not forget to join my Telegram community. I'll be leaving the link in my description below. Do check it out. Right? We give 100% genuine intraday analysis of OI data, change in OI data, whatever data analysis a trader needs, right? So I'll be personally looking at buy on dips opportunities for Monday, if at all the first 2 hours of the market sustains in this level. If at all market sustain at this level, because since 25,900 is a damn good resistance, because this was the last swing high. So I'm expecting a roughly opening around here, and if at all we sustain for first 1 to 2 hours, then I think we'll be poised to this. So my bullish trigger, the entry for the bullish will be kind of, this will be the neckline. Any move, any early closing above 25,900, I'll target. The first target will be 26,000 and the second target will be 26,300. That's it. All right, traders. I'll drill down to 15 minutes time frame. As I mentioned, that no trading range will be roughly this whole range, because this whole range will be very volatile. Do not trade the markets in this range if you are a swing or positional trader. Positional longs will definitely come above 26,000 only. Above 26,000, if at all you see a daily close on Monday or Tuesday, aim for 26,300, and above 26,300 we have already discussed on weekly, monthly time frame what can be the scenario. Now, The markets have created swings, right? I'll explain you on daily time frame. The first swing is this, the second swing is this, and on the downside the bigger swing is this. So between the two swings the markets can wave in a pendulum, so do not get trapped into these swings, right? So the first level of call sellers which will get trapped now will be at 25 850 860. If on Monday, as we discussed, if on Monday we sustain above till very much near to this swing, if at all we sustain first to 2 hours like here, then second half can be a big breakout above 25,900. So we only have to keep patience. If after opening we start to break, just like let's suppose just like this, if at all we start to break like this, then I think again we can do a replica of a gap up opening and a move like this, then we might move up. So I have made you guys clear with the perfect analysis. If at all in the first 2 hours the markets do not give you a pullback, because this gap up of trade deal, let me go till that part. This gap up, the first 5 minute candlestick was a 500 point drop. So if this happens, then you can expect a slight decline till 15 minutes 200 EMA, right? So currently 15 minutes 200 EMA. If at all it opens roughly around gap up here, so 15 minutes, yeah, it will be roughly like here, like this, right? So it will be slowly drilled down to 25 800 750. So it's your decision to short or to not short, but short confirm bearish trade opportunities will only come below 25 380, right? So this was the discussion for Nifty 50. Let's drill down to Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty, what Bank Nifty has done is it has given a very bullish close on weekly perspective. It has given a close, although Bank Nifty on daily time frame or Thursday session, it gave a damn bearish close, but we have covered more than 50%. So from weekly perspective, I think now Bank Nifty is open for the levels on the upside. Any move above, you can maintain a buy on dips opportunity on Bank Nifty. Keep your stop loss roughly around at 6500 and be long in Bank Nifty. The moment we cross 61,700, 62,500 will be the target, and 63,000 I am considering as my next target in Bank Nifty. Bearish opportunities only will come below 60,000. Below 60,000, you can definitely target 59,500. Below 59,500, 59,000. On daily time frame, I think the no trade range for you guys will be 60,500 and 61,360. Right, above 61,360, see Bank Nifty will also gap up, right? So roughly I'm expecting the Bank Nifty should gap up roughly around here, right? So any move above 61,750, target for 62,000. Above 62,000 you can definitely target 62,500 and 63,000, right? I hope you are getting what Bank Nifty is trying to do. So Bank Nifty, there's no Bank Nifty always gives you a clearer picture. Weekly close of a prior weekly high, which was not done in past, I think 1 2 3 4, this was just at the close of prior weekly high, 7 sessions. So I think Bank Nifty can be very bullish for the next week, right? Now let's move to the early time frame, and I think if at all the gap up is sustained, look for bearish opportunities above this swing. Oh, sorry, bullish opportunities, but look for bearish opportunities below 60,000. If at all the gap up is not sustained, right? Now let's move ahead to the sectoral multi-sectoral analysis. Nifty IT. Nifty IT, as we had discussed in the last weekly analysis video, that it is still sell on rise for me unless it closes above prior weekly high. So there is a bigger head and shoulder structure on Nifty IT. I hope the Nifty IT does not gives a breakdown of this head and shoulders, right? So maintain a sell on rise approach unless we cross or close a weekly candlestick above 33,000, right? So IT maintain a sell on rise approach. For Nifty Auto, you can consider a pause opportunity. So it has formed a inside candle 28, the weekly high is 28,500. So unless we cross above 28,000, maintain a pause approach. Nifty metal maintain a pause approach because the last week we saw a good profit booking. Last week we saw a good profit booking on Nifty metal index, but still we have not crossed prior weekly high, right? So maintain a pause approach unless we cross prior weekly high. If at all we breach prior weekly low, maintain a sell on rise approach like this. Getting my point? Nifty mid cap. Let's analyze the broader markets also. The broader markets, uh, of course, they have not factored the gap up. Maintain, I think, how can I comment at this point? Because the current formation is bearish. I would have mentioned maintain a pause approach unless the candlestick looks bearish. It's a doji. It's a hanging man doji, right? But let's see. The Monday's closing will be very crucial. We'll do an analysis post Monday also. So maintain a pause approach unless we close below prior weekly low, right? And try to buy on dips. Mid cap index, if at all we close about 22,000. Same analysis for small cap, but small cap, it has a very interesting pattern. Last week we gave a close, we gave a drop from 8500 to 8300. Same for this, and roughly in small cap index we will roughly open on Monday roughly around 8500. So small cap index can definitely give you a breakout of this range. So small cap index is forming a bearish pole and flag pattern. If at all we cross above 8500, this range, maintain a buy on dip stance for Nifty small cap. So from overall perspective, I think banking is looking very positive. IT is negative. Auto will be paused. Metal will be paused. Mid cap will be paused. Small cap will be paused. Right. So because none of the indexes have factored on the spot perspective, none of the indexes have factored the gap up opening. So Monday will be very, very crucial. So Monday there can be two probabilities. Either we open at this and we go sideways, or either we open and give a short covering like this. And the third, the least probabilistic move is we open and we drill down to prior weekly close, and then we take a support and go like here. So all the three probabilities I have discussed. I have told you that below which level you have to go bearish, above which level you have to go bullish. Trade safely in the markets. We'll start discussing the OI data, the change in OI data for Nifty, Bank Nifty. For Nifty, the change in OI data is very bullish. Addition of 2 CR longs, as if the FIs and pros, they got to know this news from like beforehand. How can be they so accurate that they have carried longs in the market, and retailers, they have carried shorts in the market? So I'll make you see what is the OI data, right? So the change in OI data is very bullish. Addition of 2 CR longs and unwinding of 2 CR of shorts, and this is in February expiry, wherein there is no time value left, so it will be very volatile, right? If at all you want to analyze, addition of huge longs have been added at 2nd March of expiry also, so the data is bullish. The biggest support has been added at 25,500. There is no nearby resistance which got added, right? So the last resistance will be, biggest resistance will be 25,800. So that's why I'm saying, if post gap up, if the markets are able to sustain 25,800, then I think the move till 26,000 will be very easy. If at all we start to drill down below 25,800, then we'll be again back to 25,650, 600. Bank Nifty, 7 lakh addition of longs and 4 lakh addition of shorts. The data, okay, sorry, this is for March. 11 lakh addition of longs and 6 lakh unwinding of shorts, because it is end of February. Nobody wants to, that's why the data is so much aggressive, right? So the data here is also bullish. From total opens perspective, the last resistance will be roughly around 61,500, above 61,500. So that's what we discussed. Above 61,700, 500, you can definitely go long in the market till 62,000 and 62,500. All right. So from OI data perspective, I'll also make you see the participants OI, that what we discuss in our Telegram group. So FIIs are looking good, bullish in Nifty, Bank Nifty. FIIs are very bullish, right? They have also carried call options, right? And they have also carried futures in Nifty 928 quantity. So they are bullish, right? And they are very bullish on mid cap Nifty, right? Pros, they have shorted slight index futures, but they are very bullish on uh, index options and call options basically. But they have also carried some put options. They have unwinded some options. So I think that is also bullish. Clients on the other hand are bearish, right? So let me open the FIDI data, right? This is our Telegram group, and let me check the FIDI data. If you see from this perspective, the clients are very bearish. The FIs are expecting a gap up open and a continuation, buy on dips strategy. The pros are expecting a negative open but a buy on dips in the second half of the market. So of from my expectations, from my overall analysis, Monday's market, I'm expecting the gap up to sustain. And if the index wants to take a pause of a day or two, that's fine. We can deal with it. But now there is a serious need, as we discussed on from monthly perspective, there is a serious need for the index to close above 26,000 this month. If it does not happen, the bears will get a sign that this is a after closing the candlestick below prior monthly low, this is a doji. And generally, if a red candlestick happens on a very long time frame and then an inside doji happens, generally below this is a continuation like this. This is the price action. So if this doji gets constructed at this point of time, the low will be very easily get breached, and we will be soon very much ready for the deep lower levels. So it is very much important for the index to close above 26,000 in the next 2 to 3 sessions. All right, traders, this was the complete analysis for Nifty, Bank Nifty, and a complete market analysis. I hope you have gotten the best analysis, and you must be now clear that how to trade the index for the next week. I hope you have liked the analysis. If you have been with me up till this moment, and if you like the video, leave a like, leave a comment, and if you have not subscribed the channel, subscribe the channel. Stay safe in the market. Cheers. Good evening.